and Barbecue. Welcome, everybody, to yet another Boost, Booze, and Barbecue. This is Andy.
And this is JoJo.
And we are doing episode 17, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, time flies when you're having fun.
That's right.
And man, we've just been having such a great time coming into the studio and recording for you guys and making these shows and doing the different content on the Facebook page and the Instagram, all found under Boost Booze BBQ. And it just been such an eye-opening experience, you know, headed into the social media with me never really doing the social media thing. Like I'm a very private person, and so I don't take a lot of photos and I don't do a lot of video, and this has all been so new.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way. So it's been very new for me too.
You got all these kids where this is old hat. I mean, this is just what they do, you know?
Right.
Hey, I got an iPhone when I was 12 years old, and I've been vlogging ever since, and my YouTube channel has 1,200 followers, and, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you and I are like, woohoo, we just broke 100 followers. No, we got a few more than that. But yeah, it's been a really interesting experience trying to learn how to do all of this stuff just so that we can kind of help spread our message and get the word out that we are doing this show and we want to be available for our fans and be engaged and listen to them and comment back. And I love getting comments from people.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fan submissions. Yep. And the more you listen, the more you can engage. And we really appreciate that. We don't just appreciate it, we rely on it.
That's right.
That's right. And we have a little bit of a special announcement today, don't we?
Yep.
JoJo didn't know I was going to bring this up. But
no, speaking of being a private person.
There has been a birthday.
There has.
And I'm not going to say what day exactly, but we're celebrating today.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she came over to the studio and we had some sushi that was waiting and a couple of different sakes. And we are going to be reviewing a few of those sakes today.
Yep.
And can't wait for one of them.
Oh, I know. I requested. So, Andy's wife texted me and she's like, hey, so your birthday, do you want like cake? Do you want cookies? Do you want cupcakes? And then she was like, or do you want sushi? And I was like, oh my gosh, sushi. Like, how well do you know me?
Yeah.
And so she said, let me know what kind of sushi you want. Oh, and also what kind of sake do you want? And my immediate response was Asian pear sake, because if y'all have been listening, you know about my love-hate relationship with Asian pear in the wine tasting world.
That's right.
And so, to know that I can actually get a bottle of something that's called Asian pear, I just think it's hilarious. And it's also quite tasty. It's quite good.
Yeah. We're going to be bringing that one around second, but first up is actually one that we did warm. It's called Yakagi Sake, and it is, it's a pretty nondescript bottle, but, quite good.
By nondescript, he means mostly in Japanese. So we can't describe it.
I don't read Japanese.
I don't either. Sorry.
I'll tell you what
but you
it
know
is,
what?
though.
Their food and their wine is delicious. So
1,000% correct. This one is made in Vernon, California. It's 15% alcohol, so it will get you drunk. Have you ever had a sake hangover, though? No. Oh, dude, it is not fun.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. People think that wine hangovers are the worst. I don't know, man. Sake is right up there.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah. It's kind of hangover where it just stays. You know, you stay hungover for like the whole day.
Oh, that's the worst.
If I had had any bananas, it probably would have been fine. But
well, yeah. Have a banana.
All right, so let's give this thing a try. It's been warmed up, right?
Yep.
And hey, to a birthday that happened at some point.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm a fan.
I am too. Yeah.
This sake is really good. It's a little bit creamy and it's a little bit sweet. It's not too dry.
I like that it's warm too. It gives it another it adds a sensation to drinking it, not just the flavor or the smell, but there's like a sensation there too. It's nice.
Typically, you warm up a sake because it's cheap and you're trying to mask the flavor.
Oh,
but this one, we didn't just like get it hot.
No,
it's warm.
Right.
And I like that personally. I feel like if you take a high quality clear sake and you do warm it up, I don't see anything wrong with that. Again, I hope that I'm not in some way appropriating, the culture or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, just warming it up a little bit. I like it. I think that it unlocks a whole different flavor profile than if you're having it cold. It's not fruity per se.
No.
But it's
almost kind of florally.
Yeah. I was about to say there's a little bit of almost like a dull lavender on the back of my palate as I drink this. And I always have to remind myself, sake is brewed. It's not distilled.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's closer to a beer than it even is a wine.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So you always kind of have to keep that in the back of your mind. And the polish of the rice, impacts the quality and that impacts the flavors and stuff like that. And I don't know enough about any of that. We're going to have Wine Guy Chris back in here to explain it to us.
That's an excellent idea.
We'll do that in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like this one a lot. Yakagi sake. All right, what do we got next up?
Next up is the Asian pear. My pick. This is by Moonstone, and this is their craft sake infused with Asian pear essence.
Ooh.
Funny story about this. So we tried a little bit of this earlier, and Andy's wife's first comment was, actually, it tastes like apple. And I just cracked up. I couldn't help it. I mean, if people in the wine tasting world can get Asian pear from a wine made out of grapes, but then when you actually drink something made with Asian pear and it tastes like apples, what? Oh my gosh. What is wrong with this world?
And she's not wrong.
No, I mean, it does taste like apples.
Oh, right. Even just right on the nose. You get a lot of Granny Smith apple, or at least
like
I do.
Jolly Rancher.
Oh, yeah.
Green apple Jolly Rancher is what it smells like. It's good though. Like it's sweet. It's got that kind of candy apple flavor, but it's not syrupy. And it's not tart.
It's a very clean flavor.
Very clean. There you go. Clean flavor.
It doesn't linger on the palate too long.
No.
It's kind of, it's there and it's good and then it's done.
Nailed it.
And now I can't think of anything but apple now that I'm tasting it and you guys were talking about that.
That's all I taste now. So I'm forever going to refer to the Asian pear as the elusive Asian pear because, I don't know, is it a flavor that you get from wine or is it an apple? I don't know. Is it even real? Does it even really exist?
Or is it a state of mind?
Maybe.
I don't know, man.
Wow.
Asian pear. It's an enigma.
It's an enigma.
Wrapped in a labyrinth at the center of a black hole.
Wow. Whoa. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep, man.
Thanos is still looking for the Asian pear stone.
Oh, that's great.
Have you seen the new Avengers movie yet?
I haven't yet. No.
I haven't either. I want to.
I do too.
It's just so hard to go to the movies. I mean, we work long hours, my wife and I. You work long hours. And then we come home and we do this labor of love. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to make the time. I know I need to make the time because fellas, back me up. You got to have a date night once in a while. And if you don't, it doesn't make for a very happy relationship.
Yeah.
And so I know that I'm going to need to just peel some time away and say, okay, we're not doing anything except for going to the movies, having a date night.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. It'll happen. Now that I've said it on air, my wife is going to listen to it and be like, excuse me.
You said.
This is a thing that needs to happen. So hop to chop chop. All right. We got one more sake here. Poor Joe. She's going to drive home tonight.
I know. Yikes.
It'll be fine. We'll get some more food in you before you leave.
Okay.
This one is called Nihon Sakari Rishu. Reishu.
The label on this one also mostly in Japanese. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've had enough sake to be able to read this.
Okay, what does it say?
Maybe not. Let me drink a little bit more.
Okay.
I'll get back to you.
Okay, yeah. It'll come to you eventually.
It has a very mild smell. Very good.
Very good.
Light, crisp. Mm-hmm. Apple. I would argue that this has a little more pear to it.
I would say, yeah. Yeah, it's a little more pear leaning than apple leaning, if that's a thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what? Mystery solved. This might have the pear.
Mm-hmm. We've found it.
It is
the
very
elusive Asian pear. What are we going to do with it now?
Ooh. Well, with great power comes great responsibility.
That's right. I mean, do we keep it to ourselves or does it belong in a museum?
I'm going to finish mine.
Yeah, me too.
I found this really great way to sneak booze into the museum using my stomach.
Dude, that's brilliant. I bet no one's ever thought of that before.
I've used it at work too. It's amazing. Very clean, very clear.
It's refreshing.
Yeah. It's almost like a palate cleanser. It's still 14% alcohol though.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, does it?
No.
It's really good. It's really good. I'm really impressed with
I think
this
that might be my favorite.
You know what? I'm with you too. I give it 5 out of 5.
Asian pears?
This one gets 5 out of 5 Asian pears.
Asian pears.
Love it. That's our new scale.
It's now a rating.
Hashtag Asian pear rating.
Don't give us stars. Give us Asian pears.
We're like Rotten Tomatoes, but we're Asian pears.
Right.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, that concludes the booze portion of the show. And I'm actually going to roll right into barbecue because I did a thing.
Yeah.
So I bought a new welder. Be looking for a review video. I'm going to be doing one here pretty soon. Gotta kind of find the time, and I need to use it a little bit because I want to make sure that it works. Because no offense to, the people that want to watch the review, but I'm going to make sure that it works and make sure I don't have to return it first.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but it's one of the Harbor Freight MIG-Max 215s.
Okay.
And, rumor has it that they're coming off of the same line as the Miller or the Lincoln. They appear to be the older style, though. So a Miller from maybe 6 years ago.
Okay.
Not a bad quality rig. And the little bit that I've used it so far, it seems to make some really high quality welds. I'm actually quite impressed. And for Christmas this past year, the wife actually surprised me with the Vulcan Pro TIG 200.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the AC/DC 200 amp TIG welder. And man, I've used that a ton. I've gone through 2 tanks of argon and it welds flawlessly. Me, not so much, because I'm not great with the TIG just yet.
Oh, okay.
But I'm learning.
Okay.
And the plan is for me to be able to be using TIG a little bit more as we come closer to the end of the year. But I have found that it's just been a really great running rig, and I'm going to be doing a review video on that one here pretty soon as well.
Okay.
But the nice thing about having these new welders is that I just got something for a new project I'm going to be starting.
Yep.
I just picked up a 210 fuel oil tank.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to be starting my first custom smoker build with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I feel like I got pretty lucky. I found this tank on Craigslist just randomly. I wasn't even looking for it. But
nice.
A dude had posted it a couple hours prior for $25.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I saw that and I emailed him and said, so $25. And he said, yep, $25. So I drove out there, and fortunately it was on a little farm, and he had a tractor with forks on the front.
Oh,
and he
nice.
was able to, lift it up and set it in the back of my truck. And unloading it was super easy because I just wrapped a strap around it and then tied that strap to a tree and drove out from under it.
Awesome.
Easy peasy with a little lemon squeezy. But no, I'm super excited to get that started.
Yeah.
And I've actually been trying to decide whether or not I want to do a straight up offset build or if I want to do a reverse flow smoker.
Ooh.
Yeah. You have any thoughts on that? The reverse flow is a little more labor intensive, but this is a really heavy gauge steel. And so I think if I did a reverse flow, it would give me really consistent temperatures all the way across.
That would be nice.
And fortunately, because of where I work, I'm able to get sheets delivered when we get our metal deliveries. And I could just have it cut to whatever size I needed it to be.
Oh, awesome.
And then it would just slide right in,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's something that I've been thinking about, kind of mulling over.
Yeah.
Maybe our listeners can help me out, get back at me and tell me if you want to see a reverse flow or if you feel like an offset would be good enough. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to decide what I want to do about cleaning the thing out. From what I've read, everybody says fill it with water, soapy water, obviously. Mm-hmm. And do your cuts then, and that way nothing can ignite.
Well, yeah.
Right. And then do a couple of burns inside of it, do a couple hot burns, and that should take care of any of that residual oil that's left over that's kind of soaked into the metal. And then the irony is that once I have it all burned out, I have to then recoat it with vegetable oil.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and season it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're dealing with food, I imagine vegetable oil would be better than diesel.
I would hope so. Yeah, I would hope so. That'd probably be some pretty interesting flavors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I always wondered about that when you see the guys that are building the propane tank offset smokers. Mm-hmm. Propane, I wouldn't think that it would leave any type of residue smell, but
I don't know.
I'm sure I'd want to burn it out.
Yeah.
Just to release whatever it is and get the paint off of the outside and all that, of course. Mm-hmm. But, be looking for some of that in a future episode of Booze, Booze, and Barbecue. And I'll try to take photos and do some videos along the way as we go.
Yeah. We want to follow along with you on that journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It unfortunately pushes my pit boss Copperhead out a little bit further if I'm going to be working on this. But
yeah.
I guess that's fine.
One thing at a time. I guess you'll be okay.
No, I want to do 5 projects at a time.
How's that been going for you?
Not great. Not great.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's a sandrail frame for sale on Craigslist. So you guys go ahead and get at that for me, would you?
Yeah.
Speaking of project cars, I have been seeing so many interesting project cars on Instagram. Mm-hmm. We've just been picking up followers left and right on Instagram, and it's been so awesome. And it's really been fun engaging with fans of the show and people that want to share what they're doing and stuff like that. There's been kind of this outpouring from the female racer or female car community, no doubt, because you're here on the show talking about your racing.
Yeah.
And I've found that not something that I was expecting.
Right. Yeah, it was a little unexpected. Mm-hmm. I guess probably because I'm not really affiliated with any female car club communities. And not that I don't support that. I do. I think that is very important. For me personally, I feel that getting involved in motorsports and the automotive industry has been really empowering for me. Mm-hmm. And it helped me just kind of come into my own person and figure out who I am. And honestly, it kind of got me through a really rough patch in my early to mid 20s. Mm-hmm. And I kind of relied on it for a long time. And now I just do it because I'm hooked at this point. I'm just having fun. But yeah, I've never actually joined any of the female car clubs or female motorsports communities or anything like that.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, you've only raced in the lady classes like once.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. And that might be part of the problem because the reason I did that, I think it was maybe my 3rd year of autocross, but really my second full year. Cause the first year I did a couple of events. Mm-hmm. So my 2nd year autocrossing, I did 10 or 12. And then my 3rd year, a friend of mine wanted to ensure that he and I and several other of our friends all got invited to what's called the Oregon Shootout. Mm-hmm. And in order to be invited to the Oregon Shootout, you have to place 1st or 2nd in your class for X number of events throughout the season. So the best way to do that, obviously, is to find a club where you can be the only person in your class. Mm-hmm. So, and he put a lot of thought in it. He researched, and cause there's 6 or 7 clubs here in Oregon that we had to choose from.
Well, and this idea is not anything new either.
No, it's not new. People do it every year. Yeah.
I remember talking to a guy, and this was 6 or 7 years ago, mm-hmm. but he had one of the 2nd generation Scion XBs, and I said, why?
Right.
Why go with that? And he said,
because
it's in H stock and there's nobody else in H stock.
Right.
Like, it's a pretty common thing.
Yeah. I mean, you hear people say, oh, W is a W, but is it really? I don't know. Anyway, so he figured out that this one particular club in Oregon didn't have anyone racing in E-stock ladies, but my car back in the day was in STU. Mm-hmm. So in order to compete in E-stock ladies, I had to drive his car.
Right.
Because he was in E-stock.
And remind me, what put you in STU was just your sway bar?
Cold air intake and sway bar. Yeah.
So silly.
I know. So here I did this whole season, and I didn't do every race in his car, but I did enough races in his car in E-stock ladies to get qualified and invited to the Oregon Shootout. And then when I actually went to the Oregon Shootout, I then drove my car there. But I still felt like almost like cheating, like it didn't really count, I guess. And I don't know if that's where it started for me, but I started to feel like the ladies' classes were, in a way, like held to a lower standard. Mm-hmm. And I started to feel like there was almost like a stigma attached to that. And so ever since then, I have chosen not to run in ladies' classes.
Well, and plus, if you're anything like me, fine. You know, if you're the type of person that wants to run in a class by yourself just so that you can get that win, I mean, that's fine, I guess, but that's not fine for me.
Right.
That means nothing to me.
Right.
What am I going to do with a trophy for a class that I was by myself in?
Right. Yeah. And I've been at races where, like, since that season, I've been at certain events and races where I have ended up being the only one in my class. And, you know, at the end of the event, they'll call out names or hand out little stickers or whatever. And if I was the only person in my class that day, I did not go claim my, you know, quote unquote trophy. Mm-hmm. Because I just didn't feel like I was competing against anyone. So how could I have won?
No, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah. So,
but of course, like you said, this is not an indictment on the ladies' classes or the ladies' cars community at all.
No. I think they're hugely important. You know, like I said, when I first started autocrossing and getting into automotive sports, I felt like it was hugely empowering for me as a woman. I actually I liked going to events and showing up in my car and having people say things like, hey, is this your boyfriend's car? And then I could be like, no, it's mine. Now it's just freaking annoying. But, you know.
I've been there for a few of those too, where the girls come up and they want to talk to you about how awesome it is to have another female racer. And you just kind of get this look like, don't come and talk to me like that. I get it. You just want to be there and be a racer, and you want to be a peer. You want to be an equal.
Yes. Yeah.
And I totally get that. You know, my wife goes through the same thing because she's the only female doctor in a clinic with a lot of male doctors. Mm-hmm. And so she definitely is that way as well. Like she abhors feeling like she's held to some different standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm exactly the same way. You know, there are quite a few women in my office, and I absolutely abhor being held to the same high standard as them. Like, I need to come in quite a bit lower.
Well, you do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Well, I do by default. Yeah.
No. So it's not that I don't support, you know, the female racing community. I do 100%. I just never have personally felt the need to go out and join the club or any of that, because I've been doing this long enough that I've gotten on my own 2 feet. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of earned my spot. So, but I think they are absolutely important especially for girls that are just starting out. Mm-hmm. You know, they need to feel like, they're not by themselves, and, you know, they need that support. I think it's really important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But once they reach that level where their determination and their drive has gotten them to a higher level or higher standard, then you don't feel like they should hesitate at all to just say, hey, I'm here to play.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
I'm in the same class as everybody else.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't think that any woman should feel like just because there is a ladies' class that they should be in ladies' class.
Well, when you think about it scientifically, you know, women technically should be faster than men because on average they weigh a little less. Mm-hmm. On average, women have faster reflexes. They see at a frame rate that's slightly higher than men. Mm-hmm. You know, It's all the...
Well, we're obviously the superior being, so nobody's going to argue that.
Well, women are 51 or 52% of the population of the planet now. So, I mean, you're so taking us over.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, hey, I 100% agree with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And, seeing some of these female-driven cars pop up, I'll tell you what, we don't give any preferential treatment. If you're trying to send us photos of your bone stock Mitsubishi Lancer base model, probably not going to get a whole lot of praise from JoJo.
No.
But, hey, if you've got a WRX that you're wrenching on yourself, taking it to the races and you're doing pretty well with it, JoJo may give you a shout out.
Yeah.
We never know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, all this hot car talk is making me want to talk about the Smoking Dealer Smoking a Doob.
Ooh, yes.
This is a really interesting one, too.
Yeah.
It's the 1989 Uno 001.
So, dos?
Yeah, we're just going to call it the dos.
11. Uno.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be a
1001. And it's a 00, so it's licensed to kill.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. Mm-hmm. Well, I like it a lot. Yeah. This thing is crazy looking. It looks like everything you would expect out of a 1980s supercar coming from a family car manufacturer. Yeah. I just love it. And
I think it looks kind of like an MR2.
It definitely has an MR2 look to it. There's a little bit of a Lotus Esprit from the side view.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see that.
And it's got these side vents that I'm really digging.
Yeah.
I'm really digging. And then it's so weird because it's got this glass hatch in the back. Mm-hmm. And through the glass hatch, you can see the Saab H motor, which is, Saab's slant 4 that they produced.
Yeah, not to be confused with a horizontally opposed engine with the H. It's actually a slant 4, actually based on the Triumph slant 4 originally, and then they had the Saab B motor, and then the Saab H motor is a redesign of that.
And man, they used that until 2008 or 2009. Like this motor lasted a long
time. Yeah.
Really excellent architecture.
Yeah.
And a super good motor. It reminds me of one time I was riding with a friend of ours, Dana, that we used to race with.
Yep.
And he had his MX-3 and he'd just done his motor swap and everything. And we were going up a hill and this Saab 900 Turbo was next to us, and the Saab 900 Turbo was keeping up, and Dana was just like, damn, Saab, what is your deal? And then eventually, I think we hit third gear and he started to pull away from it.
Oh, okay.
But
then he bought a Saab 900 Turbo. Do you remember? He had that car for like a half a second, but I remember it.
It was the Saab 9.3 Aero.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That was a neat car.
Yeah, it was all right.
I have to wonder if maybe he just got molded by that experience.
Maybe.
Interesting. Yeah. But hey, Saab is one of those really quirky companies that they were too quirky to die for a long time.
Yeah.
And even when they were doing the Saabaroos, I forget what the year range was, but the goofy looking, like you could tell it was a WRX.
Right.
But it had a Saab front. And you're just going, what is that? But boy, this thing is nothing like that. Mid-engine, rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Very hypercar looking.
Yeah.
Producing 175 horsepower. It's cherry red, 17-inch wheels. The interior actually looks...
It looks really nice.
Yeah, it looks very well finished. I'm honestly impressed.
Yeah.
And Bring a Trailer makes a really good point. It would make a really great addition to the Saab Heritage Museum.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. If somebody were willing to pay the price and then donate it, probably is the only way it would go.
Yeah.
Now, here's where the Smoking Deal or Smoking a Doob comes in. So this is a largely undocumented vehicle. Bring a Trailer talks about this a little bit. We'll have the link up on our website. It says that it's the first of 3 prototypes, we think.
Right.
And it is a custom steel tube frame underneath. Just not very much information about it at all. No. It's a thing. And it's here, and there's a little bit of documentation about it, and it can all be yours for $20,600. Joe's got this look like it's fun and it's rare, but I don't know if it's $20,000 fun and rare.
$20,000 on it.
What were you showing?
This is one of those where this would be a great car for somebody else to own.
not too long ago, a couple days ago, I think, you were sending me a link to a Porsche Panamera.
Oh, yeah.
What was that one? 34,000?
Yeah, like 33.9 for like a 2010. It had, I want to say less than 60, like just shy of 60,000 miles on it or something. But yeah, I was actually listening to another podcast you may or may not have heard of called Everyday Driver. They also have a TV show.
Absolutely.
And I love listening to those guys, but they were talking about a particular write-in. They talk about write-ins and they try and help people buy cars. And when he said that you could get a Porsche Panamera for under $35,000, my head exploded. I was like, oh my gosh, here I've been thinking about Mazda 6, which don't get me wrong, that's a really nice car. Mazda 6,
and
right.
You'd be getting it brand new.
And I'd be getting it brand new. But...
yeah, but...
or... Oh man, could you imagine having a Porsche Panamera as your daily driver?
I could handle that.
I could handle that.
Hey, not too long ago, and locally even, there was a Maserati Quattroporte that was 35,000.
Yeah?
And I remember seeing that and thinking, wow, that seems like a really good deal on that. I guess it just kind of goes to show these really high-end manufacturers, when you're looking at kind of the base model of what they're making, you never really know what's going to happen with the prices.
Right. Well, and this one is not a base model. This is a 4S. So this is the all-wheel drive 8-cylinder.
Really?
Yeah. It's got, and I'm mistaken, it's just under 70,000 miles. So I feel like it would probably need some kind of a service fairly soon. That would probably be couple $3,000-ish maybe. So obviously you'd have to budget for that right away, but then you could drive it for another 60 or 70,000 miles and not have to worry about it, and you'd be driving a Porsche Panamera.
This is very true. This is very true.
Yep.
You know, that friend of ours that worked for the exotic car dealership, I remember he would talk about the just crazy service charges on some of those cars.
Oh, geez.
He had a customer that had a Ferrari, I want to say it was an F355.
Yeah.
But the guy used it as a daily driver.
Oh, man.
And it had 120 or 130,000 miles on it.
That's awesome.
And on that particular Ferrari, it was not a timing chain, it was a timing belt. And it had to be serviced every 30,000 miles.
Oh, gosh.
And so the guy had it replaced 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
To the tune of, I want to say it was $10,000 or $12,000 at a time.
Oh, my gosh.
But hey, he bought a Ferrari and he was going to use it.
Well,
come hell or high water.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is as long as you are prepared for that and you're budgeting for that, why not?
Right. If you've got the money, then enjoy it and drive it.
Absolutely.
I'm 100% with that.
Yeah.
Mr. Bean does that. He's wrecked his McLaren F1 twice now, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
But hey, it's worth millions of dollars, and so he just has it rebuilt and keeps driving it.
Yeah.
And he's kind of my spirit animal in that way, because I do
Mr.
not.
Bean.
Yeah, heck yeah. I like the idea that he drives the stuff that he has.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also like that he has a degree in electrical engineering, but he chose comedy instead.
Right. Man, this electrical engineering stuff, that's really dry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a comedian.
Hey, I'm doing it right now. Right. So I completely understand where he's coming from on that.
Yeah, hence the podcast.
Exactly. You know, it's interesting how far in life being a car guy has gotten me. People love seeing that stuff on my resume. Yeah. I just got a call from a recruiter for a company in Phoenix that's doing some solar panel work. And their recruitment package was actually pretty good. She said, we liked your resume a lot. I've got stuff on there about building cars and racing cars, and I've got stuff on there about, special projects that I did when I was in school. I went to school when I was older. Yeah. And so I haven't been out of college for actually too long. Right. But the projects that I worked on, I kind of cherry picked, and I tried to do things that had as close a real world application as you can get.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And it really has paid off.
Right. Actually, the job that I have now, my experience in the automotive world also helped me land that job, because one of the questions in their interview, they had a panel interview, and one of the questions was, if I could have any job in the world, what would it be? And of course, my immediate, no hesitation answer was race car driver. Mm-hmm. And I found out a couple months after I got hired from one of the guys that was on the interview panel that after I left the room, he and someone else, they were both like, she's the one, race car driver. She wants to be a race car driver. We need to hire her.
Yeah, heck yeah. Hey, when I interviewed at that titanium foundry that I worked at for a while, mm-hmm. and I enjoyed that job immensely, mm-hmm. I would have liked to have stayed there a little bit longer, but got headhunted. Anyway, the engineer, one of the engineers that did my interview, it turns out he was a car guy.
Oh, okay.
And so me talking about all that stuff, it just very much put his mind at ease. And I guess when I walked out, he just told the facilities manager, that's the one. You bring him in.
Yeah, I feel like there is a certain level of camaraderie mm-hmm. in the automotive world.
Well, and plus, especially for the engineering community, mm-hmm. it lets them know that you're used to working on something and you know what it means to have toleranced parts. You know what it means to be working on something and realize this design sucks. Mm-hmm. You know, it's sort of like the starter being underneath the intake plenum on those Cadillac North Star motors.
Yeah.
That was designed by an engineer, not a designer.
No.
Not a car guy.
No.
And unfortunately, you're going to see a lot more of that. I hope not. I mean, I hope this isn't a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I feel like you're going to start seeing a lot more of that now because the schools are just, man, they are cranking out the engineering students.
Oh.
Kids that have gone straight from high school into college, got their engineering degree. Some of them aren't doing their cooperative internships. They're just blowing straight through.
You know, this is exactly how we ended up with the Edsel. I'm just going to throw that out there. If you all know anything about the story behind the Edsel, mm-hmm. this is how it began. A group of what they called whiz kids. They were basically accountants and engineers who were not car people. Yep. And they came up with the Edsel. So, lesson learned. This is why it's important to know your history.
Absolutely right.
Because history repeats itself. It's inevitable. So the more you know about it, the more you can avoid.
Absolutely. Yeah. We need to build on and improve, not repeat the same mistakes of the past.
Yep.
I don't know if there were any past engineers making automobile engines where the oil filter was in a very unreachable place, but that seems to be an epidemic now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're an engineer and you're just thinking to yourself, they can just drop the intermediate shaft, maybe take out one of the side axles, and then they can get to the oil filter.
No big deal.
I need you to step away from the keyboard and go get a job doing something where you're working with your hands building something. Like, do me that favor.
Yeah. I mean, get a job at Starbucks, for crying out loud, and build lattes if that's what it takes.
Yeah, get some Legos. Yeah. Get yourself a Connects kit.
Yeah.
Buy something that you can start putting together with your bare hands just so that you can start learning, like, oh yeah, if I make it this way, that is not going to work very well. And the reason why I'm talking about all this is because I'm looking at this prototype Uno 001 and I'm thinking, this is just a Saab engineer's wet dream is all that is.
Oh yeah.
That's just somebody at Saab that went, we've got all these spare parts.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with them? Let's build a mid-engine rally fighter.
Yeah.
And apparently it was built in one of their garages.
Right. That's pretty cool.
But hey, for $20,000 or $20,600, you can go ahead and buy that thing and ship it from Sweden and drive it around as much as you want.
Yeah. And actually, compared to the amount converted into Swedish money, 20,000 looks cheap. There's a extra digit there in the Swedish dollars.
Well, there you go. A relative bargain.
A relative bargain.
So in this particular case, if it's a smoking deal, not only do you have to bring your trailer, hopefully the trailer is on a boat because you're going to be shipping it from Sweden.
Yeah.
But let us know, folks, hashtag smoking deal or hashtag smoking a doobie. We want to know which one it is. Hit us up, let us know, tag us, use the hashtag, and we will tabulate those and let you know. And I tell you what, Joe, that's about all I had in store. What have you got going on?
We've got some stuff going on Facebook. We've got our Motorated Mondays, our Tip Tuesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, and Fired Up Fridays. And that's been fun. I particularly enjoy the Thirsty Thursday videos because I get to try fun new things.
Heck yeah. And I like the Fired Up Friday videos.
Right. Yeah, you're really good at those. And yeah, just if you guys out there listening, if you've got some ideas, for any of those days, just, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, use your hashtags and tag us in your post, your comment, and we would love to incorporate that into our posts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can find both of us at Facebook.com/BoostBoostBBQ, mm-hmm. the Instagram, BoostBoostBBQ, Twitter, BoostBoostBBQ. Joe, you've got your handles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. On Twitter, I am at Joe Francisco. And on Instagram, I am the real Joe Francisco because, again, there wasn't anything left. I'm a little late to the party on Instagram.
Wait, folks, make sure you're heading over there and throwing her a like and comment and just say hi and throw a comment up there and just say, hey, Joe, love the show. Mm-hmm. Big fan.
Yeah.
Think you're amazing. Want to hear more racing stories.
Yeah.
Please tell me where you live.
Right.
What's your
don't
birthday?
do that. Nope. That's
and anything you want to ask Joe, you just go ahead and
go ahead and ask, but you're probably not going to get an answer. No, but seriously, if you are a member of a female car club or car community, let me know because I've never been in search of that type of thing, but it's definitely something that I would be interested in. It's definitely something that I think is really important. So let me know if you've got a club or if you know someone who's in a club that you feel is like really got it together and really helping the female automotive world. Let me know, and maybe I'll join.
I want to hear some testimonials too.
Yeah, testimonials. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah,
let me know. Let me know what that has done for you in your life. I would love to hear those stories.
Mm-hmm. I would too. And we'll go ahead and feature them on the show. So you guys go ahead and send those our way. We love to see them and we would love to read them and talk about them. Mm-hmm. And of course, boostboozandbarbecue.com mm-hmm. is where you're going to find all of the show content, all of our links and all of the past shows. And our new player, by the way, on our website, it's super cool. You just hit the play button, especially if you're on your mobile phone. Mm-hmm. That's what I love about our website.
Yeah.
Is if you're on your mobile and you hit play from our website, close your phone or go and search whatever else you're searching. Mm-hmm. Get on the Facebook while you're listening to our show. It'll just go ahead and play through and you can use all of your controls on your headphones mm-hmm. or on your Bluetooth or whatever it is that you have. It's so awesome. And I just love that feature so much. So make sure you stop by there, check it out, give us a like and a subscribe. Mm-hmm. If you feel like it, jump on iTunes, give us a quick rating. We'd love to shout out to you.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they don't have Asian pair ratings on iTunes yet, but they do have stars. So some stars would be great.
You know what? I give iTunes 2 out of 5 pairs.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's not very good.
No, it's not.
Oh.
They'll make their way up. Once they change their rating system.
Yeah.
If they could change their rating system to the Asian pair rating system, which is far superior.
Absolutely.
We've now discovered this.
Right.
Then I think that they could potentially get their website up to 4 out of 5 Asian pairs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying, man. So anyways,
that would be epic.
Listen up, iTunes. We're trying to help you here.
Yeah.
So for Joe, this is Andy. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time. Boost, Booze, and Barbecue.